Referee is James Child tonight. He's in charge of affairs out in the middle. And it looks as though Wakefield actually have had a late boost, because Keith England is now playing for Chris Chester and Michael Monaghan. Anthony England, he comes into the side, and Kieran Hurst will drop to the bench, and he will replace James Batchelor. I know there's been a question mark, a huge question mark all day about Anthony England. He's had trouble with the knee. It locked out on occasions, apparently, for no apparent reason, but he has taken a fitness test during the build-up to this match. He is fit to play, and so Anthony England starts in the front row alongside David Fafita and Kyler Randall. Here we go then, Wigan in the shape of Sam Tompkins get this game underway, and it's a big game for these two sides, Terry, for totally different reasons.
Yeah, it is, Eddie. Wakefield obviously getting the results back in their favour, and Wigan, well, they've been disappointed in the last couple of weeks, and David Fafita was the first man to come up with a carry, and you won't see any of the Wakefield players shirk their efforts in this game tonight. They know it's going to be physical, they know it's going to be hard, and they've got to do the decent things as well when they're doing the small things like carrying the ball.
And I suspect Chris Chester has given his front rower, Anthony England, right until the last minute, because he knows how important his middlemen, his big units in the middle, how the rotation of that could affect his side during the course of this game. Still hot, still high temperatures, and when you play against Wigan, a lot of the damage is done on the fringes, so their middlemen need to work hard, they need to push hard when defending.
So it's a high kick downfield, and it's well claimed actually in mid-air. Sam Tompkins, the man who was first to that ball, and a good chase though for Wakefield. They're determined to put a little bit of pressure on Wigan early in the piece.
Well, they want to play the game down there near Wigan's on try line, won't they? And when you look at the side and the forwards, they are a big committed side. They work very hard for each other. The energy that they have is there for all to see, and the likes of Justin Horrow, though, the line speed, that's what you've got to do against the big forwards when they carry the ball.
Be interesting to see how long England lasts out there on the field. He has been in and out. It's his 200th career game tonight, by the way, so a landmark achievement for him. But in the most unusual of circumstances. He was in, he was out, they were shaking it all about, and then in the end he was named fit to play by his coach. Bill Arthur, is that a gamble by Chris Chester, do you think?
It certainly sounds like it, Eddie. Talking to the Wakefield backroom staff before this game, it sounds as though Anthony England had a terrible night last night. The injury came up quite innocuously yesterday evening, and during the night he was in a lot of pain, and miraculously they managed to get him scanned first thing this morning. There was no problem found with the knee, but it was, as you mentioned earlier on, just locking up as Wakefield get the first penalty of the game, and England's gone through the warm-up okay. There's no sign of any problem, I'm told, so they've decided to go with him, but they have got Tinara Arona and Keegan Hurst on the bench, so they've got plenty of support in that particular department.
Well, the penalty could be a problem, you know, for Wigan. They conceded 3 penalties in the first 6 minutes last week at Warrington, and it helped the Wolves to build some strong foundations. And we see the same again here with the first one.
This is Rhys Lynn for Wakefield, tackled by his opposite number, Oliver Gildart, just 10 or 11 metres away. Ben Jones-Bishop is the dummy half. It comes into Ryan Hampshire, playing against his former club, of course, is Hampshire. This now Justin Horrow, who gets Wakefield underneath the post and just 9 metres or so away from the Wigan line. Randall gets the ball away to Hampshire again. Back it comes to Danny Kermond, and the Wigan defenders move across quickly and pull him down. Ben Jones-Bishop, a dummy half once again. Back it comes to Hampshire. Hampshire seen plenty of it early in the match here. Randall, and he gets it away to Miller. Here now is a chance. A great chance for Jowett to get to the way to Bill Tupu.
John Moose! Paul Shaw.
Wigan muscling up in defence as they have to. That's Johnson, Tom Johnson to Miller again. Ball back into the arms of that man, England. What a start it would be for him if he scored the first try, having not been named in the side originally. But here is Fafita, the big fella. He gets the ball back, quick hands. Ball goes to grounds, picked up by Rhys Lynn. And Rhys Lynn sees a gap and goes for it. Sees another gap and goes for it. Backing his way towards the line, the ball bounces back, and Wigan have got it back in their possession.
Don't they move the ball well, considering that Liam Finn's not playing and Scott Griggs. You look at the way they move the ball from one side of the pitch to the other, in contact, looking to promote the ball, offloading it, and there's always someone around the ball carrier.
And that's the point, isn't it, Tez? Because there's a man pushing up in the next hole, the player carrying the ball has the confidence to force that pass, especially at the right place, the right part of the field. Good opening start, good opening 4.5 minutes for Wakefield.
But Wigan here in possession. Luluai gets the ball away. Navarrete here is hounded down by 3 Wakefield defenders, and they've reached tackle number 5, only made 33 metres progress. From inside his own 40, Sam Tompkins hacks the ball downfield, but straight into the arms of Ben Jones-Bishop.
They've struggled to get forward, Wigan. The line speed from Wakefield has been very good. And any big man who's going to carry the ball off the ruck, they need some metres between the defensive line, and the line speed's that good for Chris Chester's men that they just can't get that at present.
In many ways, it's a must-win game for both of these teams. Wakefield would love to put a little bit more daylight between themselves and the chasing pack. It would be a remarkable achievement for them to finish top 8 yet again.
Work back.
This is David Fafita. Plays the ball to Randall. He looks for the runner. This is Miller. Miller then gets it away to Jowett. Jowett taking them on. No Scott Griggs. He's really putting pressure on the veteran Irish international is Max Jowett at the moment. Miller with a crossfield kick looking for Danny Kerman. That's knocked backwards by knocked on, I thought, by Wigan. But James Child saw it a different way.
It's a great opening 5 minutes, almost 6 there for the Wakefield side. They stretched them twice, they've made some chances, and I guess they're hoping that Max Jowett can push up into those holes. I think he's going to be a brilliant fullback for the next 10 years. But it does take a while to learn how to play in that position. He's seen some gaps. Maybe we'll see a bit more from him as the game progresses, but his teammates have certainly created the opportunity for the wide players.
That shows how good they are defensively. Wigan trying to go outside of them.
And they're not making much progress in this set of 6. Wigan, Sargent's the man who plays the ball. Now they might here with Williams. Oh, he splayed the ball out wide looking for Mullen. It came off the fingertips. But it's a forward pass has been judged.
If you're a Wakefield player, you're saying to each other, look lads, they're trying to play around us, they can't get through us, they're throwing these sorts of passes because we're jamming in, we're hitting hard. As I said, our line speed's very good and they're frustrating Wigan.
They do look a little bit nervous here. There's a lot of pressure on them, a lot of stuff going on, both on the pitch and off the pitch.
And the goal line
Wigan probably just need to settle down a little bit, Phil. That's a forced pass.
Well, in the first half of the season, this left side for Wigan's been phenomenal with the attack, the breaks. They've scored 3 times as many tries down the left, and it's not a surprise that as that tightens up, maybe that's a reason why you get frustration and passes thrown. Teams have learned how to defend better now on this side of the field.
Tupu to his feet. Miller was the dummy half. Here is Fafita, who was maybe upset one or two of the Wigan forwards this week with his comments, as we heard in the pre-match build-up. He certainly plays the game with a smile on his face, and Wakefield are doing that just at the moment. Hampshire, good hands, Jowett, out it goes to Ben Jones-Bishop, and he dots it down in the corner. It was a second effort from Ben Jones-Bishop, and the big question, I suppose, Stuart, is was the ball grounded correctly, although James Child has got a try on the field?
Well, there was certainly a lot of movement from the ball after it got to ground. We need to see whether he managed to keep his hand on the ball and have downward pressure on the ball. He just steps inside a player. So that dislodges the ball, and he still seems to have possession of the ball. And it certainly looks like there's part of his hand still on top of the ball. No separation on the way down. At first look, it looks like this try will be confirmed.
That's a good finish, that, under all kinds of pressure from Wigan defensively.
No problem with the line. He doesn't put his foot on the whitewash here, see? Does he? No, he doesn't.
He knows how to finish, doesn't he, Eddie?
He does. He's the top try scorer. Do you think this is going to be given, Stuart?
Well, I think so. I think there's downward pressure on it. There's nothing to show any separation. I think this one will be confirmed.
It's about to be confirmed or denied by the video referee, Robert Hicks. And a try is given. And Ben Jones-Bishop gets his 11th try of the Super League season. He got 2 against Wigan in the 30-18 defeat for Wakefield in March. But he knows where the whitewash is.
Well, the opening 7.5 minutes, all Wakefield. The game's been played down in Wigan's half. The defence has been outstanding. The way that they're shifting the ball from one side to the other, going at the defensive line, fixing players. Then all of a sudden you've got outside defenders wedging in, trying to fix that problem up. And it's a good finish, isn't it, from Jones Bishop, knowing that there's pressure from Sam Tompkins and stays in the field of play.
It's a good catch, because if we're honest, I think Max Jowett will be disappointed and relieved that that try was awarded. Towards the left to right pass, and it's in front of Ben Jones Bishop. He does remarkably well to bring it in.
Hampshire here with the attempt to add the extras, but he pushes it in front of the posts. But the try there that has come is the 4th try for Ben Jones Bishop in consecutive home games against Wigan Warriors.
Well, that's
incredible record.
That's a top-class finish from a top-class winger, Chris Chester.
I don't think he was
Michael
sure, now he
Monaghan.
is.
He's go on, lad, go on. Yeah, that'll do. But it just goes to show the threat that they've got on the edges, the skill they've got in providing those chances. Wakefield, they look on tonight, and I still think it comes back from that pressured pass from George Williams.
Fafita then to drive the ball back at these Wigan on-rushing challengers. Takes 3 to halt him. Farrell was leading the way. This is Danny Kermon now. Kermon played 1 of the last 5, that's all. And his full debut was against Wigan way back in 2010. England again, looks nothing wrong with the knee thus far.
All the way. Hold.
Randall.
They're doing a decent job, aren't they? The first few carries are nice and direct. Let footwork at the line from Tupu, dominated in that play, but again, just the shape that they've got in attack, they're causing some problems here.
Wakefield fans thought that was a little bit high on Justin Horrow, but referee didn't.
Your turn, Anthony.
Dink over the top by Miller, finds touch far side. Jacob Miller is certainly a match winner for Wakefield.
Was that a kick to a fine touch, or was it one to invite his left winger, Tom Johnston, one of my favourite players there, to charge onto that? I don't know whether he was trying to kick it soft and keep the ball in play.
The winger was very deep, Phil. I see
yeah.
what you're saying, yeah. Didn't bounce
Kindly for him, no, but there was some variety in his kicks, isn't it? If all the kicks you make are always the same, it's predictable for the opponents.
You would expect the kicker to go into the corner and
head
try and make Wigan
around.
come away and apply some pressure defensively, which I think they've done particularly well tonight, Wakefield. They've shown energy and enthusiasm when they've got the ball, but when it's come time to defend as they are now in, they've got a lot of vigour.
And Wigan having trouble getting past them. This is Tommy Davis, building on an impressive first season in 2017. Davis, Lulawai, the dummy half. Navarrete trying to run over the top of players. He went over the top of one. He couldn't get past the next 2. Lulawai again. And the captain, Sean O'Loughlin, will alter the direction of this attack. Brought it back on the inside. 40 metres out, Lulawai finds Tony Clubb. Clubb then gets it to Sam Powell. Bateman, good on his feet is John Bateman. And he goes down under the pressure from Matty Ashurst. Last tackle coming up here for Wigan. Tompkins spreads it wide to Williams. Williams off the outside of the boot. A tester here for Ben Jones Bishop. Is collected by Mullen. And he flung the ball forward, I think, in his desperation to try and find a teammate. But Craig Mullen was impressive then.
Well, that's the gamble when you don't go for a long kick. You pull back on the metres and then all of a sudden you're under pressure near your own try line. Mullen does well to get up, get the ball. Unfortunately, it goes forward.
Good end to the set from Wakefield. We'll see a lot from Craig Mullen. As Tez said before the game, he plays 1, 6, 7, can slot in at 9. He's a player that can spread the ball about, but his speed and agility will cause problems for Wakefield over on this left side for Wigan.
Yet another of the youngsters coming through the production line at the Wigan Warriors. Sean Wayne, the coach, said he is really looking forward to seeing how he goes tonight on his full debut. And the one thing you can say about Sean Wayne in his 7 years in charge, when he leaves the club at the end of this season, some very bright young prospects, some very bright young things there that have come forward under his tutelage. He should leave them, and that should be his legacy. He leaves them in good shape.
We see the player in question here, Craig Mullen, taking the ball forward. I think the confidence he fills with those players allows them to express themselves on that high stage. Doesn't talk about the team being under pressure, doesn't talk about the injuries. He talks about how excited he is to see players like Craig Mullen at this top level, and it must fill those players full of confidence.
This is Bateman. Of course, there's some players in this team that have been coached by nobody else other than Sean Wayne.
Well, he came to the club back in 1999, didn't he? So the likes of Sean O'Loughlin never known anybody else, really.
It's okay.
Williams, he's probably another one. Halted on tackle number 4, 40 metres away. Liam Farrell behind him at dummy half. Plays the ball to him. Here is Tony Clubb. Sean O'Loughlin was on his shoulder. He released the ball, got it back to Luluai. Flicked off Luluai's fingertips and went backwards, I think.
I thought they were lucky, Wigan, then. Clubb flings it back in hope. Luluai manages to take control of it. Last tackle again.
Gildart to Tompkins. Goes very high. Now there's two players coming for this. That's knocked off the top of Williams, so it's a zero tackle this. Free play, and Tom Johnson, he was looking to make ground up the other end, but Liam Farrell saw to it that he wasn't going to make much progress.
Well, an awful lot of pressure on the back three then for Wakefield, and George Williams, well, he's just there in front of Max Jowett. He's got to go up and compete in the earth for that. And Wigan now trying to do what to Wakefield, what Wakefield have been doing to them in the opening 13 minutes. The line speed, getting off, trying to get in the face, restricting those meters. Unfortunately, it's just too quick for the referee, James Giles.
It has been a fierce pace to this game. That's why I talked about those middlemen and how important players like Anthony England will be for Wakefield. If you look at Wigan's bench, there's not as much experience, there's nowhere near as much size. So when it comes time, here we go.
Tupu gets the ball inside. Very well trained by Miller, who was then... Well, it was a bit of a hefty challenge, that is for sure. And Wigan have been penalised.
Navarrete, is it?
Yeah, Navarrete, yeah.
Yeah, he's a very aggressive player. He hits
himself, though, here.
He hits the player hard. It's a good break from Tupu. He's a fabulous player. Puts it inside to Miller, and the big front rower slams that door shut. I don't think there's too much wrong with that.
Well, there's nothing wrong with the shot. It's not a high shot. Look, he just hits him with absolutely everything, Jacob Miller. Look at this now. He just monsters him. He's got shoulder charge, he's got high shot. The only thing that he could be penalised for is going back on, but Jacob Miller doesn't make a thing with that as well, Phil.
Well, I think James Child has penalised it for a high tackle. I don't think there's anything else after that. I mean, if you're looking at him going back into the tackle, he wasn't actually tackled at the time. Well, we probably look at the replay and see that there's not a great deal of contact there.
There's no contact, it's the reaction from Jacob Miller that he throws it as though there is contact.
Referee wants the captain and the player to him.
Look, there's contact on the head, mate. You've got to be more careful when you go into contact. That's what the penalty's for. Danny! Tyler! Come here. Danny. No, Jacob, I don't want to know, thank you.
And he's also calling Jacob Miller to him, and well, not Jacob Miller, rather Randall to him.
I know what you're doing, but I'm there to control it. It doesn't need you joining in, because otherwise you might end up over there. Just let me deal with it. That's the penalty, you've got it, right?
So it's a penalty to Wakefield as a result of all of that.
Yeah.
And having missed with the conversion, I wonder if they would be tempted to go for the 2 points.
They're all spread out like they're going to run this ball.
Please.
Have they made the call?
Ball's over there.
They are.
I think so, they go for 2 points, wouldn't they? No, they go for 2.
Go for 2. Time back on.
It's taken them an eternity to bring the kicking tee on if it is going to be a kick for goal. It looks like it is.
He's gone behind the post, so he told the referee.
He hasn't told the trainer.
I'll finish my point then. If you look at the two benches, when it comes time to rotate the side, as the intensity and the tempo drops, I just feel that Wakefield's bench is a little bit stronger with players like Paulie, Rona, and Kyle Wood, who will come on and speed up the ruck and take advantage of some of the tired bodies that Wigan will have.
That is a reinforced bench, isn't it?
He's gone for
I hope
size.
it is reinforced. I hope the bench, I hope the timbers.
He's certainly gone for size tonight as Chris Chester. A chance here for an extra 2 on the penalty. And he's successful with that, is Ryan Hampshire. 30 appearances for Wigan at the start of his career. Went to Castleford on loan, 2016. Lee last year in the £1 million game against the Catalan Dragons. He was a 16-year-old when he joined the Wigan Warriors. Finding a home, though, here in West Yorkshire now.
He's a good player, and he does look at home here, doesn't he? Chris Chester's getting the best out of him, and he's a runner first, Ryan Hampshire.
From Normanton Knights, just down the road from this club. So played his rugby league in this part of the world, does look at home, and has now got that responsibility that he's probably demanded the various clubs that he's gone to. He's made it known he wants to play 6, he wants to have his hands on the ball as much as possible.
Rhys Lynn here for Wakefield. 17 minutes gone. Trinity leading 6 points to 0. And tomorrow at 7:30, we shall be at the Halliwell Jones Stadium, Warrington, for Warrington against Castleford, 2 of the top 4 tangling. And Saturday, vital match for these two. It's on Sky Sports Arena on the red button, you'll notice, at 5 o'clock, Catalan Dragons and Widnes. All matches from the Betfred Super League, well over the halfway point in the season.
That's the type of offload we saw from Fafita there, which Warrington was successful with last week. Players like Chris Hill keeping the ball alive, and then a set of 6 tackles becomes almost a set of 10.
Bang, move!
This is the last one, though, called by James Child on this set. It'll come back to Ryan Hampshire. He'll hoist the ball down this right-hand side into the sunshine. And he's a full-back by trade, is Craig Mullen. He's pretty quick.
Well, he does well to take that, and straight away, as soon as he catches it, he wants to attack. Doesn't want to get down to the ground. And again, the work that Wakefield are doing from the marker position, hunting down the man who's about to take the one-up carry from the ruck. They are getting numbers in.
And they're looking very fresh, Wakefield, when you consider that Wigan, of course, had that torrid, from their point of view, cup tie against Warrington last week, and were nilled in Challenge Cup football, I think for the first time in something like 13 years. You know, they're trying to regroup, they're trying to avoid this 3rd consecutive defeat. But Wakefield look really, really up for this, and well, Tony Clubb has given James Child a mouthful there, and the referee will have none of that. It's for dissent.
No, Sean, when he lifts his leg and can't held, that's it. There's no issue in that. No, there isn't. He comes out on the stand.
There's a leg lift in the tackle. Tony Clubb isn't happy about it.
Well, the referee's called held once the legs lift. That's the end of the tackle. And, you know, there wasn't a great deal of time before the leg was released, so I don't really know why Ben Flower was complaining then.
One, guys! Wait for his fall!
So,
Tony Clubb said.
All right, Ben might have complained as well, Stu, from the sideline, you never know. This is Ryan Hampshire.
Surrender!
They'll all be complaining because it's a penalty that's gone against them. Randall at dummy half, 12 metres out. Oh, Thomas Luluai has laid someone flat out here. Is this a shoulder charge? Is this contact with the head? Is this a problem for Thomas Luluai?
Well, this is what you call, Eddie, hitting on suspicion. The way that Horror comes and flashes round the back of the ruck, he runs with real intent as though he's going to get the ball. Look at that there now. It's a dummy from Tyler Randall. Just have a little look at this. He just sinks in, hits him. Oof.
It's late movement from Horror, but he's riding the sights of Thomas Luluai.
We've had 4 looks. Is that a yellow card, Stuart?
Well, he's tackled without the ball. It's a heavy hit. It's not high, and it's not a shoulder charge. So the referee will have the option, because of the tackle off the ball, to put him in the sin bin if he feels it's that bad.
He was sin binned on the hour last week at Warrington in the Challenge Cup.
Rich, have you got an opinion on it?
Well, Horror.
He put Horror on his back.
Well, he spotted him, didn't he? Realised that he wasn't about to get the ball, but there was that man, Thomas Luluai, in front of him. He might not be the biggest, but he can level some of the biggest of the lads.
And he goes to apologise. And I walked across the field, actually, before the kick-off, and I tell you what, it is rock solid, this pitch. With no rain to speak of for about a month. And it is very, very firm underfoot. So Horror is going off.
The ball with force that creates some whiplash. You're going to go for 10 minutes.
You've got 10 minutes.
Second game in a row. Can't argue with that.
Second game in a row. He takes a 10-minute spell in the sin bin, and Justin Horror now will have to be assessed.
That's the message.
It's more than a penalty, isn't it? I know he's not a dirty player, Thomas Luluai, but he's made that mistake. The player's gone down. It's Wigan now defending the line with 12 men.
And the penalty count is 5-0 in Wakefield's favour, by the way.
I said before, Eddie, they didn't have any energy, they didn't have any spark. Well, they certainly need some now.
Arona is on, off the bench, the Cook Islander. He got his only try so far in the away game against Wigan. This is Rhys Lynn. Oh, and he brushed away from Gildart. He gets very close to the line. Danny Kermond is a dummy half, the Wakefield captain. Here is Hampshire. Gives it then to Fafita. Away from a couple. Away from another one again. And away from another one again. What a run from him. Well, Lachlan and Sam Tompkins in the end dealing with him. Tyler Randall at dummy half. Fires the pass to the left-hand side. That's Miller. This is Matty Ashurst. Good defence from Wigan. They come across and bring him down. Scrambling defence from the Warriors. Oh, he's gone in low. The chance here, I think Bill Tupou's got the try. He's claiming it. James Child was close. What's his decision on the field? It's another 4-pointer, he says. But it's handed upstairs again to video referee Robert Hicks.
Well, again, he's in a fairly decent position, but a lot of bodies around as the ball's put on the ground. Just going to see that he has, again, downward pressure on the ball and in possession, and you can clearly see that he is there. The video referee might also be concerned about Sargentson coming in, kicking at the ball. Could be seen as foul play, but I think the try will definitely be awarded.
Looks like he has got another for Wakefield. Bill Tupou, his 29th consecutive game, 70th overall appearance for the club. 6 tries now for the season. What a start for Wakefield. They lead by 10 points to 0 after 21 minutes.
A good finish from Bill Tupou. All came off the back of this penalty, and ultimately the yellow card for the hooker, Thomas Luluai. No option really, James Child. After a probing Matty Ashurst run, Bill Tupou, with a try-scorer's instinct, knows that the marker, John Bateman, is very high. He knows that Sargentson is distracted with what's happening outside of him, and there's an opportunity there for Bill Tupou. Good try.
Yes, 10-0 Wakefield lead. And just at the moment, Wigan don't particularly like coming to Wakefield. I'll expand on that in a moment when we've seen this conversion attempt from Ryan Hampshire. This for a 12-0 advantage.
Time on.
And 12-0 it is. Well, you know, they've won 3 of the last 5 home meetings against Wigan. 32-0 last year in the Super 8s. In April 2016, it was an even more amazing victory, 62-0. One of the most surprising scorelines in Super League history. Wigan have got it all to do tonight. Bill Arthur.
As that try was being scored, in fact, Justin Horrow was just walking behind the posts on his way back to the dressing room to have a concussion assessment after a pretty hefty bang on this ground, which, as you pointed out, Eddie, is very firm indeed. Not a lot of grass on the surface either, so he will have felt that impact. Thomas Luluai, meanwhile, was absolutely beside himself with anger with himself for that completely mistimed tackle. He apologised to everybody within vicinity. He apologised to Justin Horrow as well as he left the field, actually kicking him. It wasn't as bad, though, as Missy Talapapas on Jamie Shaw a few weeks ago.
Hold, go.
So, Luluai spending time in the sin bin. And Wigan with a 12-point deficit to make up here.
And Eddie, this is where Wakefield have been really good discipline with the ball. Wigan have made 47 tackles more than Wakefield. They've got an awful lot more oomph when they're carrying the ball, the bigger forwards. They're trying to find the front. They're not been dominated. It's easier for that man behind Tyler Randall. Then you tip the ball on and you just run at the defensive line as hard as you can, and it seems to be working for them.
Better set defensively, though, here for Wigan. They've reached the last tackle, only
Outside.
38 metres gained. And here is young Mullen, Craig Mullen, who's been out on loan with the London Scholars this year. Try against Newcastle. Player with great promise, according to his coach. Here's Tom Davis.
Hold.
And Sam Powell is the dummy half. Sargentson will take it forward again for Wigan.
It looked like there was a problem with John Bateman, who's just getting himself positioned over on the right-hand side. Physio's just in the background, going over to him again, just checking how he is.
Stand for hold.
Well, he's churning away over on that far side. Looks like he's going to carry on for the time being. Here, meanwhile, Liam Farrell. And they've reached tackle number 5 on the 40-metre line of the Wakefield Trinity half. As Powell gets it away to Tompkins, and Tompkins just drills the ball into touch, and Wigan will seek what they hope will be one of the first, maybe, and one of the rare mistakes that Wakefield have made so far in this match.
Well, just waste a bit of time as well and just let that sin bin the clock just ticked down before they get back to the full complement of 13 players, and an awful lot of pressure on the likes of Sam Tompkins, Sean O'Loughlin, and Thomas Luluai when he comes back onto the field, because very difficult to stop a team when they're playing on the front foot. There's an awful lot of confidence. They're throwing the ball around. It's a shift for the shift. The forwards are getting over the top of the Wigan's middlemen. It's been a really good opening for Chris Chester's men. And they're about to make another change now. Keegan Hurst, another one of those big men, big middlemen that take some handling. He's prowling the touchline, desperate to get on for Wakefield.
Jowett gets the ball down that left-hand side again. Keegan Hurst waiting to come on. Meanwhile, Tom Johnson. Hat-trick of tries home and away against Hull Kingston Rovers this year for Tom Johnson, featuring in his 9 tries so far. Arona to Fifita. I wonder if Hurst, when he comes on, whether he will be replacing Anthony England. I must say, I don't know what they've sprayed on the knee, but whatever it is, it's a miracle. There's a penalty here for not clearing the ruck against Wigan. Well, they haven't had a penalty yet, Wigan.
Well, what you say about David Fifita, he certainly fronted up. War of words before the game. Everyone would have expected the Wigan players to make a beeline for them. I think he's been making a beeline for them, really. He's been phenomenal when he's been carrying the ball.
One, move, back up.
There he is, getting himself lined up down the right-hand side for another charge. It's England, meanwhile. At the end of that penalty, second tackle, they're 10 metres away once again. Our Wakefield Trinity with Randall at dummy half. And missed out Fifita this time, found Arona. Arona then gives it to Miller. Miller with a little hop, skip and a jump in front of the defenders. He's left 3 in his wake. Miller, it's a good run. And he gets a penalty under the post for another high shot. The penalty count is alarming against Wigan. 7-0 in Wakefield's favour.
Well, that shows just how dominant they are. And Jacob Miller, he's got a good double left foot step. Goes into that, yeah, there's an arm. I'd say it's a swinging arm, but there is contact, and 2 points here they're going to go for.
They're in complete control of this game at the minute. 26.5 minutes on the clock. Wigan are desperate, making mistakes. In front on the scoreboard, having all the territory, the majority of the possession.
At the moment, no. Look, instead of looking at somebody else or looking at me, look at your own team and sort your own discipline out. If we go again, you know what's going to happen. All right? I appreciate that.
Not a civilised conversation between the Wigan skipper and the referee. But the 7-0 penalty count is the reason why James Child has had a word in the ear of Sean O'Loughlin, saying they need to tighten their discipline up.
Well, the other thing that Wigan need to improve is attack. I know they've not had a lot of ball in good field position, as this kick easily goes over for Ryan Hampshire, but it's over 3 hours now, Eddie, of rugby league that Wigan haven't scored a try. They scored early in the game at Hull KR, but they didn't score after that, and then obviously kept to scoreless against Warrington and haven't scored even almost half an hour. That's 3 hours without getting across the try line, and that's maybe a reason why, just like a cricketer at the crease failing to get some runs, anxiety, frustration, tension starts to build. The passes aren't coming, the breaks aren't being made, and they now are under tremendous pressure, giving their opponents a 14 lead.
And Luluai still on the sidelines and in the sin bin. It's a high hanging kick that Hampshire is underneath. And he's finally got himself on the field, is Keegan Hurst.
But Eddie's replaced David Fifita.
It's not England who's going.
No, your mate's just about to carry the ball up again.
Yeah.
But maybe you'd want to keep him on until he can't go, because if he goes on the bench, Eddie might not be able to get back on.
Yes. Yeah.
Let him go for as long as he can.
Yeah, well done, Terry. We think on the same hymn sheet.
Oh dear, that's a slippery slope.
I don't know how and I don't know why, but
I'm talking to you, Eddie. That is a very slippery slope.
Well, Rona gets him to halfway. Wakefield.
Go.
And Randall goes down the left-hand side to Miller. Oh, it's a great run from Jacob Miller. He loses the ball, though, in collision. That's an important tackle, as it turns out, by Sam Powell. Very important.
Well, he was just hoping that someone was just going to tail on the inside. Look, when he gets on the outside of Powell, again, he's got dummy runners, and he was looking for Tupu. When he dummy to drop him off, he's come back on the inside. He thought he was going to be on his shoulder. Then he tries to pull it back in. It's good play yet again. They certainly are opening Wigan up. You look at the stats, probably a worrying sign for Sean Wayne, is that Wigan have only had the ball, our stats the same, for 7 times. They've only completed 4, and they've also give all them penalties away.
And I wonder if we look back later on at the game-changing moment, whether that might be a game-changing moment. That tackle, there's the first penalty, by the way, for Wigan from the scrum. That tackle by Powell might be a game-changing moment. You never know.
Oh, well, Sean Wayne knows now that he needs to camp down here. They've been under pressure right from the kickoff. From the very first carry from David Fafita, they've been on the back foot.
Well, here's Bateman now, who gets the ball to Willie Isa. And down he goes. First time, really, that Wigan have threatened the line as Luluai returns out of the sin bin, so Wigan back up to the full complement. That's a good run from Liam Farrell. They're 9 metres away from the Wakefield line now. Plenty of tackles in hand, 3 remaining. Luluai first touch since out of the bin, finds O'Loughlin, finds Williams. He flashes the pass to Isa. And Luluai now 5 metres away. It's Powell, drop-off pass to Bateman. England came for him and missed him. Bateman goes for the post, great run from Bateman. But that's tackle number 5, 3 metres out. Luluai gives it then to Williams. Oh, and that hits the deck. It's picked up off the feet by Reece Lim, and then they've given it away. They've given it away, Wakefield, in their own 10-metre zone. It's going to be head and feed to the Wigan Warriors.
Well, it was quite frantic, wasn't it, from Wigan? A mistake from Wakefield. Admit they look solid in defence here.
Well, this is a pity for Reece Lim, because I think he's been absolutely brilliant for the first 30 minutes. You know, both him and Bill Tupou were probably the reason why they won at Widnes. They were dominant, they were active with the possession. He's outplayed Oliver Gildart in half an hour in my eyes, and yet he's come up with a mistake here now, which means that him and his team need to defend for at least 6 more plays.
Heads in, race.
Yes, this is a big test for this Wakefield defence. This is the biggest test they've had in the opening half hour. Luluai then gives it to Powell. Here is Sargentson. Sargentson going up the middle. And all there, the big men around him, Arona and Ashurst bring him down. That's the first one repelled. Now it's with Powell again. Gets the ball away to Isa. Willie Isa will hold him out as well. Luluai spins and then takes tackle number 3. So far, the defence standing firm for Wakefield as Liam Farrell fires the pass to Sam Powell. Powell then gives it to Tompkins. Tompkins then to Williams. The pass was behind Tom Davis. It's not going according to the script for Sean Wayne.
Well, even with the late shift, with players going over onto the right-hand side, there's no panic in the defensive line. When you play Wigan, you know that they're going to throw this sort of shape at you. With Sam Powell, George Williams, Sam Tompkins out the back, you're expecting those sorts of plays. Not really hitting the lead runner at the line, going out the back.
What George Williams is doing, he's looking at the defenders. He's trying to tell lies with his eyes so that he can release the winger, Tom Davis. Because he sacrifices a little bit of that vision, there's no accuracy on that pass. But I'm going to credit the defence. They get over there, they make it messy, and Wakefield again deny Wigan Warriors.
Well, we know that Justin Horrow is off the field having a head assessment after that big collision with Thomas Luluai, for which Luluai spent 10 minutes in the bin. What's the news, Bill?
Eddie, Justin Horrow has just reappeared from the dressing room. He's come through the head test okay, given the all clear to resume. He's been back round by the dugout, high-fiving the youngsters sitting there behind him on the side of the pitch. All smiles, all ready to go. Eddie, that's the Horrow story.
Yeah, nice horror story for Justin, there's no doubt about that. And a great story for Wakefield, because he's an important weapon to have in their armoury.
And a fresh player to come on the field as well, isn't he?
Go for.
Complimented him early on how good he was defensively.
Anthony England's having a massive game.
Move, we're back.
And he was injured this morning.
Well, they were in for a scan this morning on the knee, kept locking up, but
Clear.
Tell you what, looks like he's A-OK.
It's all about building pressure, isn't it?
Cheers, mate.
He's having a good game too,
Yeah,
Hampshire, against his former club.
Well, he certainly stepped up, hasn't he, Ryan Hampshire? As I said before, he's certainly enjoying himself. He's got a leading role within this side, because no Scott Griggs and Liam Finn.
This is and could be a massive night for Wakefield, Eddie. I mean, you've mentioned the fact that they beat them 62-0, they beat Wigan 32-0 last season. To do it 3 years in a
Second
row
rows
means
in.
it's not a fluke. Maybe we can do something once, maybe we can pull it off twice.
Make sure you
But
stay
if they
bounced
can, on
heads in,
3
nice
consecutive
and tight.
seasons, beat Wigan at home, I think it really does mean that this club have got some strong foundations and they're no longer a team who are annually battling against relegation. They've been pretty impressive for half an hour, but can they maintain this now for the remainder of the match? They've got their opponents under pressure, but I don't know whether the Wakefield focus and Trinity focus is good enough here now to get them to half-time.
Well, we see there's only 6 minutes remaining. It's 14-0.
Go.
Mullen gets to his feet and plays the ball. Here is Bateman, and they get another penalty for offside. Wigan, this will help them. This will help the cause.
Well, it seems like the last 5 or 6 minutes they have been getting penalties. Whether just switching off, really, not working with the referee, communicating with each other as well over on the left-hand side. They've got to step back another metre.
Yeah, they're all in front of him, weren't they? He had no alternative but to blow the whistle. And that's 2 in a row now for Wigan, after they had the big warning from James Child, having conceded the first 7. Harrow is waiting to return as Sam Tompkins is enveloped by 3 defenders. Reece Lynn was one of them, last man off. Farrell to O'Loughlin, and Powell, and then Bateman. And Bateman sees a little gap. And she's still going, Bateman, despite the attention of 3 defenders. Sargentson is waiting behind him. Took a knock earlier in the piece, did Bateman's taken another one just there. This is O'Loughlin's short pass. Great work, and it's Gabe Hamlin. Gets across the line for the first Wigan try. And his first Wigan try of his career. He's here at the recommendation of a former Wigan coach, Michael Maguire, and a former player, Pat Richards. Formerly from the South Sydney Rabbitohs. It's his 4th substitute appearance of the year, and we've just seen his first ever Wigan try.
Well, a couple of penalties have helped Wigan get into this field position. Sean O'Loughlin comes back, knowing that he's got Gabe Hamlin with him. He just sets off on his line, Hamlin. Little drop-off play. Sean O'Loughlin at a couple of defenders. He attracts 2, and there's some space on the inside for that man. This is exactly what they needed. He's a powerful little player. Good right foot step as well to beat Jowett. And you felt, Eddie, before half-time, they needed some points.
Well, they're back in it. They are back in it, thanks to Hamlin's try.
What time did I speak to Sean O'Loughlin?
He's had to be very patient for this opportunity again. And Sam Tompkins with the opportunity to close the gap still further, which he does. He's got a great record with the boot this year as Sam Tompkins. 52 goals now from 73 attempts. That's over 71% success rate for Sam Tompkins, who's in his farewell year.
There are some small margins in this game, and when you're in front on the scoreboard, you need to make the right decision. Ryan Hampshire, in charge of the kicking game, chooses to nudge the ball over the sideline. If he keeps that ball in play, if he makes Wigan work hard, keeps them involved in the game, keeps the tempo high, I don't think they get the momentum back from the scrum. Wigan are back in the game now, got a foothold in the game, but keep the game and tempo high from Wakefield's perspective.
And Anthony England has just, as that kick-off was taken, has just left the field after a tremendous stint in the first 36 minutes of this game. There he is.
36 minutes for any front rower is a fair effort, but in this heat, in this pace and tempo, with the injury he went into, is a sterling effort.
Nice run from Lulawai. Still inside their own half, though. Tompkins this time will plonk the ball down in the corner here. That's a very good kick on a firm surface. Jowett gets it, but look at the chasers. The chasers arrived. Mullen and Gildart got him down.
Well, still with one tackle up the sleeve as well. Kicking early, looking to kick the ball behind and find that space. And try and force an error down here just before we get to the break.
That's the type of kick I think Wakefield should have put in. Now it's Wigan's turn to apply some pressure, get some line speed, get some control and force an error.
And there it is, the error. Tom Johnson has come up with it, the ball squeezing out in the tackle with Sean O'Loughlin and co here.
Well,
there might have been an arm in there, but Tom Johnson has to have a better hold on that ball.
He does, Eddie, and all of a sudden, like Barry said before, that when Ryan Hampshire chooses to kick the ball off the field, all the energy. They get a couple of penalties back to back, then they scored a try. Everything seems to be going in the last 7 or 8 minutes in that man's favour.
I think he kicked off the field because his team are gassed. They've got no energy, and he thought that several of his teammates needed a breather. And that's, to me, evidenced by the fact that they've conceded one try and possibly conceded another here.
But they've had a lot of possession on the back of that, haven't they, since then, and the penalties.
Here's the try scorer, Hamlin. Only 21 years of age. And gets the penalty for the second push by Matty Ashurst.
Just wait. Back up.
Well, just a second effort. Carries the ball strongly, the try scorer.
So penalty in dangerous situation for Wakefield as we are 2 minutes away from half-time. That's a great shot.
Stand, hold!
He's had one put on him, Horo. He's come up with a decent one himself.
This is Bateman now. They might have to put a few more decent shots on Wigan to keep them out.
Hold!
Bateman disentangles himself from Ashurst. It's now with Powell and Hamlin again, looking to repeat what he did just a few minutes ago.
Goal line! Justin, hold!
Luluai is 9 metres away. Pressure on the Wakefield line towards the end of this first half. It's with Liam Farrell. He was fed by Williams. It's a good tackle by Reece Lynn. Tompkins into centre field they come once again with Williams. Williams then flat pass, he finds Powell. Powell dabs the kick into the in-goal area. Johnson, oh, he had to be quick, and he almost gave an air shot then because there were Wigan players closing in.
Oh, the fans over there in the left-hand corner screaming, kick it out! Kick it out, we're under pressure here. Good kick, wasn't it, from Sam Powell at the line, pulling up the defenders. Tom Johnson still had the speed to get back in and get that ball dead.
So 41 seconds of the first half remaining. Wakefield in no hurry to take this kick, but the referee's called time off. And this is anxious times for Chris Chester. That's a good length on the dropout, though. Back comes Willie Isa with the ball in hand for Wigan. Makes good progress, 25 metres. Luluai is scheming again at dummy half. Hamlin will take it forward. They've got 25 seconds to survive, Wakefield, as we approach half-time with this 14-6 advantage. Luluai still backing his way towards the 10-metre line with Matty Ashurst all round him. 10 seconds remaining in this first half. Wigan looking for some more reward with O'Loughlin. O'Loughlin, it hits the deck and finds Sam Tompkins. He then finds Gildart. Gildart flicks the ball looking for Mullen and only found the touch judge. And Chris Chester's off to the dressing room. And Wakefield have a 14-6 advantage at half-time. They dominated the first 27 minutes, did Wakefield. Ben Jones-Bishop's try, Hampshire's penalty, then Tupu's try and Hampshire's goal, and a Hampshire penalty made it 14-0 after 27 minutes. They had the game in their pocket, but then Wigan got going, and the substitute, Gabe Hamlin, came on the field and scored an important try 5 minutes for the break, and Wigan had them on the rack, but Wakefield held out. Wakefield Trinity 14, Wigan 6 at half-time.
Shoulder into the ribs and then leg drive from that point.
Gut says there are good odds out there. My smarts say that Betfair has the best odds on the World Cup. So when I win bigger. That's why I go to Betfair. Betfair, where gut instinct meets smarts.
Get up to 50% off selected sofas at DFS. There's also early bird savings in our price flash. The Antonia is $479, but only till Monday. DFS.
Crucial series as England look to bounce back in South Africa. Live on Sky Sports.
Available this June. Show them who we are.
I'm gonna be synchronizing our watches just like they do in the movies.
You deliver. That's what you do. You deliver.
How much more are you hiding?
What? It is your time. Please.
I never freeze.
Go.
Come on.
We are home. Seriously?
Right. I waited my entire life for this.
Let's have some fun.
Come on!
Ready, go! What do you want?
I want the throne.
Come on, dude.
I can see you.
Let's go!
Got to grind the team down.
Well, if the Wigan Warriors had hoped to come here to the Mobile Rocket Stadium and hang out the business as usual signs, they would have been mistaken. Quick reminder of what we have coming up for you tomorrow. First, though, we're at the Halliwell Jones Stadium where Warrington take on Castlebar at 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports Arena, and that is followed by a hugely important clash between the Catalan Dragons and the Widnes Vikings, 5 p.m. Make a note of that. It's on Sky Sports Arena, red button. Massive game for two sides, desperate to scramble into the top 8. As I said, it's not going the way of the Wigan Warriors. Back-to-back losses this season, one in Super League, one in the Challenge Cup, and they are behind at half-time to a very fiery and up for it Wakefield Trinity side. 2 tries to 1 in favour of Trinity. Here's a quick rundown on the half-time stats. The big one that would stand out is an 84% completion rate for the Wakefield Trinity side, 69% for Wigan. And Wigan, usually so good defensively, coming up with 12 missed tackles in that first 40 minutes. No doubt something Sean Wayne will address at half-time here in the stadium with his side. John, as I said, it's crisis what crisis according to the Wigan Warriors. Wakefield Trinity, though, are beginning to spell it crisis with a capital C.
They are. They've spotted a Wigan Warriors side who they think is fraying at the edges. They struck first into through Ben Jones-Bishop. Great lead-up play. We're going to have a closer look at this in just a minute. And then came, not the crucial moment of the first half, but certainly a significant moment in terms of the ease with which Wakefield were able to post points after that. Luluai sent to the sin bin for that tackle on Horrow.
And that was followed then by a Bill Tubo try with Luluai off the field. 12-0. Ryan Hampshire kicked a penalty then, 14-0. Wigan, though, importantly, probably hit back with a late try.
Yeah, they did, and I think that gives that changes the complexion of the half-time team so slightly. I would imagine, again, it'd still be a pretty animated Sean Wayne in that dressing room because it's been Wakefield's half.
Before we look in depth, just a quick comment on Wigan. Sum up that first 40 minutes performance from them.
It looks like the hangover of what's been going on in the last couple of weeks, all those negative headlines, it really does look like that hangover has followed them onto the pitch.
OK. Plaudits will go, though, to Wakefield. We're going to have a look at the Ben Jones-Bishop try. Break down to us what they did so well in attack, Wakefield Trinity, and maybe what Wigan could have done, if there was anything they could have done better in defence.
Really, really well-run play. The anatomy on the epitome of a well-run play. So they get everything they want as well. They've split the field correctly. A lot of teams will line up on a post, so they play the ball, they try and get in line with the post. That affects the defenders. It puts 4 Wigan defenders on the short side generally, and then so 6 on the long side with the full-back and the 2 markers. I'll clear all that because they also get the added bonus of Thomas Uluwai, late retreat, who ends up on the wrong side. But I'd rather look at the way that they're set up, and the key man in all this is Max Jowett. He's your full-back. He's the man who provides the try-scoring pass. And at that moment, Sam Tompkins cannot legislate or overcall his defence because he's not giving anything away where he goes. The break as well is perfectly timed. Now, on top of this, you've got a series of really well-run plays. So at this point, Anthony England is a live runner. There is absolutely a completely live option. And Farrell has to account for him. There is no way that Farrell can slide off here until there's a decision being made by Horrow, either to hit Anthony England or go out the back. They double that up. By the way, look at Max Jowett, yellow boots. He's making his way now to try scoring pass position. Again, another really committed, good line run.
Who now is the most vulnerable Wigan defender?
Oh, without a shadow of a doubt, this man. The centre. They've done the hard bit because they got to the 4th man in, Farrell. And if you put Ryan Hampshire, these 2 together, so there you go. Ryan Hampshire and Farrell. That's ball player on 4th man in. He knows he's got 4 players outside him. There's a natural advantage. But the man who's under real pressure now, I think, is this man. And as a measure of how good this play is, I think he has overread the front runner as Gildart, and he's over committed to the line run there. But I'll say this, even if Gildart reads this better, and even if he decides to go and get Max Jowett, I think because how well the
Jowett gets a pass away to Lee.
It's a catch and pass from Jowett.
Well run.
So I mean, I think any way you want to slice that is a really, really well run, well executed play to start the game and set the tone for Wakefield.
Let's flip it over. Look at the other side of the coin. Wakefield Trinity in defence. They've had some difficult periods this year in defence. Tonight, for the first 40 minutes, hasn't been one of them, despite the concession of a try. A lot of good things.
Some decent ball players in the Wigan Warriors team, and I think Chris Chester will have spent time working with his players on applying some pressure to these guys. It keeps the ball players honest and gives them a lot less time to assess the defensive line. And the man who comes out the line first again is Anthony England. Have a look at the pressure he puts on the inside shoulder here when he gets the chance. He goes through and he gives so little time for Powell. The other thing is you've got in George Williams, I think, a mercurial talent. But I think people are figuring out he likes to run. He prefers to run. And if he can be given any excuse to abort a play, which we've seen a few times this year, then it's a movement and an anticipation from a man like Reece Lynn, which will make him abandon that play. He sees Reece Lynn there and abandons the play. Now, that on its own looks like a bit of a gamble. But I fast forward to the 36th minute. See the same thing again, the same work ethic from the inside here, this time from Keegan Hurst, and he's putting pressure again on Sam Powell. And have a look again at Reece Lynn, orange boots, a little bit more measured this time, allows the play to go through, but a really good read on the defence. That is an awful lot of research, time in the video room, assessment of an opposition team, setup and qualities, and a good, I think, a really good neutralising half for Wakefield.
Perhaps importantly, though, for the Warriors, they did score through Gabe Hamlin, only their 2nd try in 5 halves of rugby leagues in all competitions. What will Chris Chester, I wonder, be saying to his side at half-time in this end? More of the same, please. A massively important game for them.
Yeah, I think he'd be really pleased with that first half performance and just keep the level up that they've got to in the first half.
And will the paint be coming off the dressing room walls in the Wigan Warriors side? Sean Wayne, well, we know the expectation that he has of his side. Made a couple of changes going into this game, but still a side, no doubt, he would have felt can come away from here with 2 very important competition points to keep the pressure on St Helens. They have 40 minutes to rescue this round 17 match from the Betfred Super League. Eddie and the boys standing by to take you through the second 40 minutes of a game. Well, Wigan daren't lose. Wakefield Trinity, 2 points would be oh so precious for this side in their fight for a top 8 finish.
The new Huawei P20 Pro is the world's first triple lens smartphone with AI assistance. Photography will never be the same. The Huawei P20 Pro.
When I'm not teaching, I need to explore. So I use Kayak to see the destinations right for me and decide where I'll dive into next.
Get your new iPhone 10 on Sky Mobile and shoot studio quality portraits with amazing detail on the all-screen Super Retina HD display. Perfect for watching all your favourite Sky shows. On the only network that rolls over all your unused data for you to keep for up to 3 years. Get your iPhone 10 with Sky Mobile for £42 a month with no upfront costs. Call today or search Sky Mobile.
Hello.
We want to see the wizard.
He's popped out. But if it's the home of your dreams you're after, maybe I can help. Here at the Halifax, we help all sorts of home buyers, even scarecrows. Oh, joy! What's that, Toto? Can I help Dorothy?
Oh, will you? Can't you?
Well, I can't give you a mortgage. You're far too young. But I can get you home.
Oh.
Just do the shoe clicky thing.
There's no place like home. There's no place like home.
For less at Curry's PC World.
Get 10% off the marked price on all Samsung large kitchen appliances over £400. This American-style fridge freezer dispenses water and ice, just $8.99. Save £50 on this 7-kilo Indesit washer, just $1.99. Need it in a hurry? Save an extra £20 when you collect today from your local store. Get half-price installation on hundreds of built-in appliances. That's the UK's lowest price on built-in installation from any major retailer. At Curry's PC World, we help you get it right.
Game of Thrones on Sky box sets.
The things I do for love.
Bring me his head.
Dracarys. For the watch.
You stand accused of treason.
Relive every episode ever. Game of Thrones available now on Sky box sets.
I'm not going to show that picture to anyone. Not as long as your studio produces my film. If you don't, I'll ruin you.
That was an absolute wicked kick, that.
Trust you enjoyed the State of Origin match with us yesterday live on Sky Sports. Back to the bread and butter stuff now of the NRL. Tomorrow in the morning at 8:55 you can watch Canberra against Penrith on Sky Sports Arena and main event. And then on Sunday, 2 early morning fixtures for you, both of them on Sky Sports Arena, 5 a.m. Cronulla and West's Tigers, and at 7:05 a.m. Melbourne against Brisbane. The NRL back on Sky Sports in 2018. Right, Wakefield leading 14-6 against the Wigan Warriors. They're about to start the second half. Wigan halted Wakefield's best ever start to a Super League season in March. Trinity had won 4 in a row, then they went looking to repeat last year's 42-30 win at Wigan. They led 12-10 at half-time, lost it in the second half. Wigan won by 30 points to 18. Will history repeat itself? Will Wigan pick up the points in the second half here, or can Trinity hang on and pick up what would be a famous victory for them?
Well, they were outstanding the opening 30 minutes. Wigan seemed to get back into the game when the likes of David Fifita left the field. I thought he was inspirational to his teammates, the way he carried the ball and took the battle to this Wigan side. But they've got a bit of a lifeline now where they've just been behind by 8 points And I'm sure that there's a lot of those players out there knowing that it's not going to be easy for them to get over this Wakefield side that are full of confidence.
Stand. The ball is lost. No, the referee has reversed the call. He got a call from the referee. There was a hand, from the touch judge rather. There was a hand in at the play of the ball. And Wigan get the penalty, the first one of the second half.
Well, I'm sure Sean Wayne's heart would have been fluttering then when this ball goes on the floor. He wouldn't have wanted to make a mistake in the first set of 6 in the second half. They get the penalty.
Time's off.
And this is where they look so dangerous in the final 10 minutes of the first half.
Yeah, they picked up where they left off for Sean Wayne, who's got a maximum of 17 matches remaining. Move! And during his Wigan career has a 67% win ratio that will take some replacing. It's his 227th game in charge here. That's good defence from Wakefield.
2, hold. Go, 2.
Here is Liam Farrell. He's got Isa on his shoulder, but elects instead to go to Williams, who runs across the face and then gives it to Bateman. And Wakefield get him down on tackle number 3, but just about 2 or 3 metres away from their own line. Luluai then fires the pass to Powell. Powell will give it wider still to O'Loughlin. It's an intercept by Ben Jones-Bishop. They're not going to catch him. They will not catch Ben Jones-Bishop. Davis is doing his best, but he has won this race all hands down. Touches down underneath the sticks. Second try tonight for Ben Jones-Bishop. And Wakefield get Wigan with a sucker punch. 2 tries against Wigan in March. 2 tries against Wigan here tonight in early June. Ben Jones-Bishop, a dozen for Super League in 2018.
Well, as soon as he catches this ball, you looked around at the Wigan show, you think, nah, there's nobody going to turn round and chase and catch him. It's certainly good to watch, isn't he, when he's in full flight. Wigan looked to shift the ball, a couple of long passes, and then this one from Sean O'Loughlin. Ben Jones-Bishop in the line. There's 3 plays that Sean O'Loughlin's trying to pick out, and that's what Sean Wayne thinks of it.
Well, this isn't a fluke. We've been at this ground and seen him do that several times before, once against the Leeds Rhinos, I remember, a couple of years back, and against other teams as well. He positions himself well. He's got the speed and the skill then to convert and turn the game around here. The tide had been flowing in Wigan's favour. The penalties in the second half put them in that attacking position, but his pace took him over the line. And you know what? To be a try scorer in the top 10 in the Super League, in a team that's playing in the bottom half of the table, which is where Wakefield were at the start of tonight, you have to be pretty special. He's done that, and he is having a remarkable season.
Well, if you'd watched the State of Origin on Wednesday, you would have seen Valentine Holmes do exactly the same thing with 90 metres to run. As Phil has said, we've seen Ben Jones-Bishop do that consistently throughout his career. Gets to the ball, has enough wherewithal, enough awareness to pouch it, and he's got the speed and pace to finish it.
So Ryan Hampshire now to try and add the extras. He's bang in front of the sticks. Doesn't miss then. 20 points to 6.
It's always dangerous when you throw a pass like Sean O'Loughlin did then, because the way outside backs defend, it's like they wedge in, they jam in, they pull that trigger, and when they look like they're outnumbered, and they did have a 3-on-1, well, the only option that he really goes for is to go for that pass, and he comes up with it. Good finish.
A great finish. I remember talking last season to John Keir when he was here as Chris Chester's assistant, and of course a lot of talk was about all the wingers that were doing and running in tries and playing so well in the Super League last year. He said, as far as we're concerned at Wakefield, of course he's now elsewhere with Bradford, he said, we haven't got 2 bad wingers either in Tom Johnson and Ben Jones-Bishop. Well, let's hear now from Bill Arthur with all the half-time news.
Eddie, Wigan came out after the break. As they came back to the sidelines, the coaching staff, the mood was confident. They were positive. They'd come through their bad patch in this game. They'd had the better of the final part of the first half and felt they could build on that. So that Ben Jones-Bishop try is a real blow to the Wigan Warriors, who felt that they'd got their game together. They have to tighten up on the discipline. That is the main focus in this second half. because that was the key to Wakefield making so much territorial ground in the game. Wakefield obviously really cock-a-hoop after starting the second half just like that. Completion is the key for them. It has been all season. When they complete high, they come out on the winning side, but they're probably going to have to do it for the rest of this game without Justin Horrow, who has lasted just a few minutes in this second half, having come through a concussion test early in the first half. He's now picked up a calf injury.
Oh, he's been in the wars, hasn't he, tonight, Justin Horrow, but as you just caught a glimpse there, you've got Paulie on the field now for Wakefield.
Arms around tight.
Got his first Super League try 2 weeks ago. There he is, packing down in the front row of the scrum. He got his first Super League try a couple of weeks ago at Widnes, and he actually has started the last 5.
Another big man, Eddie, who is hard to handle. No Wakefielder on defence at the minute. Tyler Randall, when he puts that kick in, I just feel that if Wakefield Trinity are going to dine at the top table and mix it with the big boys, they have to be the team that's on the front foot, pushing the pace, not slowing the game down.
Well, you say dining at the top table. Remember, they missed out on the playoffs and the playoff semi-final by just a point last year. Here is a chance, though, for Gildart down the left-hand side for Wigan, but he just applied the brakes and decided to take the tackle. I think he was waiting for some support, and he was a little bit light in that department, so went for management, really, rather than pace down the wing. There's Powell over the top and into the corner, and it is a firm pitch, and it bounces away.
Watch the ball.
Well, too much weight on it. I think Reece Lynn, when they were broke over on Wakefield's right-hand side, he did a tremendous job to get back, and Oliver Gildart couldn't get the pass to one of his teammates that was pushing up with him because of Reece Lynn's effort.
Hold.
Yeah, Wakefield just finishing adrift of St Helens in the final shakedown last year. They lost here to the Saints, you may remember, in the Super 8s by 16 points to 18. They only fell at the final hurdle. They might have been in the playoffs themselves had they got a victory that night.
Well, they would have been. Well, they've all seemed to punch well above the weight, don't they, since Chris Chester's come into the side, building on House, high completions, getting through the set, been quite disciplined as well. But they are a team that do like to mix it as well.
Go, 2.
This is Arona now.
Move! All the way.
Paulie is just to the right-hand side of this play the ball. The ball's going the other way, but he's a huge man.
With good skills again, it was his offload that forced Wigan to work extra hard at the back end of that set of 6.
Miller now, and Hampshire going laterally, then flicks the pass. Reece Lynn, he can't keep the movement going. Thomas Luluai saw to that. Randall to Hampshire, up into the corner, looking to test them. Well held over on that far side.
Well taken by Mullen, wasn't it? Again, he's dealt with those high kicks whenever they've gone up anywhere near him. He's not been afraid to go for them and command that ball.
As I say, full back originally. Playing on the wing here tonight. As Powell shifts the ball to him.
Hold. Go 4.
Tompkins, dummy half. Liam Farrell. Strong Liam Farrell, takes 3 to bring him down.
Go.
Last tackle here, though, for Wigan.
Outside. Give 10 shots.
Sam Tompkins was outside the 40, went for distance. Max Jowett here will run it back. He's playing full-back for the 6th time this year, Jowett.
You're right, Eddie, it was a kick for depth from Sam Tompkins. I just wonder when the Wigan Warriors will put Morgan Escaré on, put him on at full-back, get Sam Tompkins involved in the play a lot more. They need to ask some questions of Wakefield. I see Sean O'Loughlin. To my knowledge, I don't think he's been off. That's a lot of minutes for Sean O'Loughlin, coming up for 50 without a break.
Hampshire showed it to Paulie, kept hold of it himself, and flips the pass a little wildly and has lost momentum there, but Reece Lynn retains possession for Trinity.
Still has a bit of time as well to look where he's going to run. Reece Lynn.
Here he is. Paulie. Tackled by Willie Isa.
Go.
Hampshire again. Oh, and that came off Mullen, but didn't he recover well for that? It was brilliant stuff.
It was like a goalkeeper, wasn't he? He knew that he'd come off his legs. He knew that he had to try and find it. He jumped straight back up and lands on it. Otherwise, again, they could have been in some trouble there. Oh, good effort from the youngster.
I think Wigan are trying to get Thomas Luluai off the pitch for a concussion assessment, with Morgan Escaray ready to come on, but he won't come off the field.
Does that mean he's ignoring them, or he's not concussed? Take your pick.
Or he is concussed.
Well, one of the two or the three. O'Loughlin now goes wide to Williams. Short ball then to Farrell. Good defence from Danny Kermond. Williams to Tompkins. Tompkins all the way down the line, and off he comes. Luluai for a concussion test. He's going to be led away by the doctor, Chris Brooks.
That won't work out too bad. Luluai plays at hooker. That will push Sam Powell up to 9, get Tompkins involved in the halves, give him more control, more involvement in this match. Escaray at full-back. Always a threat, Escaray, when he's returning the ball.
Didn't see Luluai take a bang, but obviously he had maybe a bit of whiplash on the back of the
Paulie, I think, tried to run over the top of him once, and I don't think he recovered from that. But Wakefield have forgotten one of the major principles of either code of rugby. You've got to go forward when you have possession, and they're struggling to do that, although here, shifting it a bit wider. They've just gone a little bit static, haven't they? Wigan have really upped their efforts in defence, and they struggle to roll downfield, but here they are now with Kyle Wood shooting out, looking in the short side.
Hold down, though, by Morgan Escaray and Sargentson. Ashurst on the last tackle, Wakefield here, and Miller goes for the corner, but it runs touch and goal, so it's a 7-tackle restart, because Chester knows that could be very, very important.
Yeah, be disappointed whether just wanted to hold it up in the in-goal area or not get it off the field and just walk to a scrum. The last time that Wigan had the ball, the first 4 plays, they only managed to make 6 metres. Then the run from Farrell got them another 20.
Hamlin puts it down. It's picked up by Jacob Miller. Free play. They've lost possession in that set of 7, as it would have been. This is Arona. He goes away from Escaray. Over the top it goes to Johnson. Wigan know the problems he can pose, so he has to run across the face of their defence and doesn't make anything forward.
Well, you like teams that attack through defence, and that's exactly what Arona did then.
Ward gets it away to Ashurst. Only 2 gone, though, in this set. Wood is pointing one way, obviously goes the next into the middle. Arona, Paulie, away from 2, 3, still stands, keeps going. Bateman on his back.
Good luck stopping the big fella. I don't know how you deal with somebody that big.
Wood. And Wood is halted just half a metre or so away from the Wigan line. Will gather his feet and play the ball to Tupu. Here is Miller again. Miller then gives it to Hampshire. Hampshire, Jowett to the in-goal area. Chase on here, and it's Mullen to the rescue.
Really nice kick from the fullback, Wakefield fullback there. We said Max Jowett's let's get this start. It's an apprenticeship really for him to learn to play fullback at the highest level. But he's learning very well on the job, and that's a difficult skill. To kick the ball softly, to invite your teammates. The ball very often runs harder than you want to, particularly on these hard pitches. He's got the ball back for his side. He's stressed the Wigan defence out wide.
It was always a lovely kick that. He's been saying all night, it is really hard, this pitch. Almost like concrete.
And I can pay him a really big compliment as well. The player he's replaced, Scott Griggs. If you squint a little bit, that could have been a kick that Scott Griggs has put in. As you mentioned, the impact that David Fafita had in the opening half hour of this game. Just see Griggs behind the chairman.
And the first goal line dropout that Wakefield have forced. Tompkins gets it over halfway to Miller. And back Wakefield come again with a solid run from Tirinau Arona. Or Tinirau Arona, to give him his proper name. This is Paulie.
Look at the leg drive. Sean O'Loughlin's not a small man himself, is he?
No. He's put a big shift in tonight, O'Loughlin. His team
the penalty here. They get the penalty, though. Callum Field didn't get off the ground in player. Paulie in time. They're bang in front of the sticks. Will they go for 2 more?
Keep going, Eddie.
Oh, play the ball.
Yeah, they'll keep going here. Surely they will.
Well, they are. No, if they don't come to regret it. Oh, my word, they nearly did. Kermond. 20 metres out.
Hold.
Wakefield in possession.
Hold.
Hampshire goes in at dummy half. Back it comes into centre field to Arona again.
2, move.
Well, they're all lined up down this left-hand side.
Hold.
Will it come this way? It does. With Wood. And Miller did well to hang on to that.
Surrender. Stand 3 line. Hold.
Solid enough tackle from Bateman. Wood again, short ball. This is Ashurst. Matty Ashurst is hauled back by 3. Wood once again. Oh, look out! The big fella's off. Paulie.
Move!
Brave defence from Bateman and co.
The ball.
There's a problem there with John Bateman on the floor. Well, you know, it's quite easy, the coaches, to say, get your bodies in front, act as a speed bump. Well, John Bateman, I've never ever seen him since he made his debut as a young lad from when he was at Bradford, ever pull out of any play, and he puts his body on the line there, along with Sam Tompkins and Morgan Escalade, to try and stop the big fella.
Oh, wow.
You saw his wrist buckle underneath the weight of Paulie, and I think Sean Wayne realises that could be a very nasty injury.
You can tell from his reaction, couldn't you?
That's the last thing that he needs, and this Wigan Warriors side low on numbers. Let's look at his, is it his right arm?
Tackle 5, just wait, Paulie.
Well, he's back up.
Is he staying on? He is.
Yes.
Miller, still Miller, gets it away to Hampshire. Hampshire looks for the runner, it's Kermond!
It's a turnover.
And that's the turnover.
Let go.
Well, turnover, though, 100 metres away from the Wakefield line.
Well, he picks a good line, doesn't he, Danny Kermond? A real hard, aggressive line.
Here they come now, Wakefield. They'll pile in for this.
I'm still shaking my head that John Bateman's still on the field after just watching what happened to his hand.
Push forward.
He's still out there.
2, move. Hold.
He is.
Go 2.
It's coming towards him too. This is Sargentson.
Matty, move. Go 3.
Powell to O'Loughlin. Williams fires the pass to Gildart. And Gildart is grounded just inside his own half. Williams again. Sam Tompkins. O'Loughlin gets the ball away to Bateman. Bateman finds Sargentson. Sargentson finds Davis. Davis cuts inside. Missed by Miller, but grabbed by Johnston. Last one.
Go.
Escaray to O'Loughlin to Tompkins. Wide again they go to Farrell. Farrell with a kick. Oh well, he's a second rower. He's not a kicker, and Sean Wayne knows that is not in the script.
Yeah, with all respect to Liam Farrell, he's not renowned in the game for kicking the ball.
He did make several kicks at Warrington last week, though, didn't he? I know they had the similar effect, but a lot of teams do try and find a second row, an unusual player. Warrington use Harvey Levette, don't they, out wide on the left, an unusual player to kick it. But the game is really at that tipping point now. 56 minutes gone, 14-point gap. And the next score is a really significant one, Eddie. I'm not saying it's the winning one, but it's a very significant one. If Wakefield can find a way over the line, I think it becomes a very big hill for Wigan to climb.
Look at John Bateman involved in that tackle. During the build-up to this game, we're on Golden Point talking to players about, listen, when you're not injured, get up and play on. Well, there's the personification of that, John Bateman.
This is Ashurst. He finds Keegan Hurst.
3.
Keegan Hurst goes down, tackle number 4. 25 metres away. Wood come down the short side here with Miller. Gets it away to Ashurst. Will tackle Escaray. Last one coming up here for Wakefield.
Go.
That's Tupu. And this is Miller. And he comes down this side here. Oh, it's been played at. It's been played at. It's play on, and it's Johnson. The referee said played at and play on. It's Tom Johnston. It could be the match winner. It could be. It's given. Tom Johnson with the try. He's in double figures now. You've got Ben Jones-Bishop with a dozen tries on one wing. You've got Tom Johnson with 10 tries on the other. and that could be a very significant four-pointer from Tom Johnson. 24-6. Wakefield lead, and we're approaching the final quarter of the match.
Well, what an intelligent kick from Jacob Miller. We talked about how important it is to finish the set off in the manner that you want, the manner that you dictate. He takes it to the line. There's an opportunity available to him. It takes a ricochet. I think it's Willie Isa who sticks his foot out, but there are enough Wakefield players in the vicinity, and what about that for a finish? Well, outstanding.
You've got to be in the right place at the right time, haven't you? And Tom Johnson, well, he picks that up, and like you say, Barry, what about that for the finish?
Well, if you're churlish, we might have another look at that, and we might see it just fractionally comes out of Tom Johnson's grasp. And had it been sent up to Robert Hicks, it may have been turned down, but there was no reason on the field why referee or touch judge would refer this upstairs when he saw the finish. Just have a look at this, Stuart. What do you think?
Well, he's got to keep maintaining grip of that all the way down. You can see just at the last minute, the ball comes out of his hand as it goes to ground. Just a slight separation as you get to the ground.
Fingers on? No?
Well, I think the ball hits the ground, then his fingers go back on it. He's got to re-grip it before he gets there.
Well, it's academic. There's no point arguing because they've scored it, and it's 24-6. And Hampshire here to make it a 20-point advantage. Ryan Hampshire, though, drags it the wrong side of the upright. 24-6. Still 18. It's 3 converted tries. Here it is again. Who'd be a video referee?
I think his fingers are still in touch with the ball, Eddie. But as you say, it's irrelevant. There's 18-point gap on the scoreboard. The only thing Wigan have got to do here now is work out how they can dig themselves out of this massive hole that they're in. We've seen them come back in dramatic circumstances before. They've gone for a short kick-off and they need the ball. It's obvious.
But it's Ben Jones-Bishop who comes up with it. An incredible recent run on this ground so far for Wakefield against Wigan. Wigan have won 35 of 45 Super League meetings with Wakefield, 15 from 22 here. But over the last few years, they've found them a very difficult nut to crack. And Miller here, stumbling and eventually going down in the tackle.
Just looks like he's playing with him, doesn't he? When he's bouncing across the field. Here's the man who caused an awful lot of damage. And gets through the tackle, looking to get up. Some players on top of him.
Pleading for the penalty. Here's Hampshire. Gets the ball away, and it's Kermond again, a solid run. Kyle Ward wants to get a bit of urgency into this attack. Call the players to him. Oh, it's knocked down by Wigan. He's offside, I think. He is. Offside. Willie Isa kicked the ball.
And you kick the goal here now, wouldn't you?
I think you'd take 2 points at this junction, wouldn't you? And David Fafita, when he runs that ball, he's looking to find his front and play the ball quickly. He makes himself available later on in that set of 6. And he just attracts so much attention, Dave Fafita. The smart players in Wakefield shirts, the big decision makers, will use him wisely. Give it him. Here's the charge, the forceful charge, and he's not looking at the referee for a penalty. He wants to play the ball. He plays the ball and gives a chance to Kyle Wood, who Chris Chester has the luxury of bringing him on. He's going to change the tempo of the game. He reintroduces David Fafita. They look in the box seat at the minute, Wakefield.
They do, and it could be a very, very significant night for Wakefield. There's 8 matches remaining, 5 of them on this ground where they have been so impressive tonight. You know, not only will they be talking about the qualifiers and avoiding them, they might actually be talking about a push for the top 4 here with those 5 home games to come if they can keep this form up on their own ground. And Hampshire has added the 2 points that were available from the penalty. It is now a 20-point ball game. We've got 19 minutes to go, and Wakefield are ahead. Rugby League Masterclass follows us tonight at 10 o'clock on Sky Sports Arena. We'll be in the company of Warrington's Kevin Brown for that, and we will hopefully see, providing he's fit, Kevin Brown in the team for Warrington to face Castleford live from the Betfred Super League tomorrow night. And then we'll see Kevin Brown's former club, Widnes, in Catalan on Saturday night at 5 on Sky Sports Arena via the red button. And it's so from 10 o'clock tonight. It's the Kevin Brown Show on Sky Sports.
They'll be hoping it's the Kevin Brown Show tomorrow, won't it, as well? You know what, they go short again. We're no one really competing in the air with Ben Jones-Bishop. Second time they've done it. Second time Ben Jones-Bishop is the man who stood underneath it, and no one's competing.
Here's Miller again. He's found Ashurst. That's a good tackle by Escaray. And he was finished off by Sargentson.
Hold, go.
Jowett to Fafita. No wonder they look for him all the time. He's a magnet with 3 and 4 players around him when he gets the ball, but it's tackle number 5. And Miller will say, we'll put this in touch, but Davis has other ideas. And that's probably not a bad result for Wakefield.
No, well, Wakefield are looking to kick the ball off the field.
Go.
Oh, Thomas Luluai is coming back out of the head assessment, so we'll maybe get some news about him shortly. He looks okay.
Another player for Wakefield, I think, who's been very good. I think over the recent years, I think he's been the main man, is Danny Kermon. Over on the right-hand side, the captain. He's been decent when he's come into the attacking line. When they've looked to shift the ball, he runs some decent lines as well, causes some problems.
He's a great servant for the club, there's no doubt about that. This is Williams, melted by Ben Jones-Bishop. Kermon coming in the end as the third man, because Hampshire was being backpedaled. Tompkins up the middle he goes. Sam Tompkins, a great run, and it's going to be 6 to go. But then he's lost the ball, but he'll come back for the first defence. Will it?
Well, the ball was going back towards Wakefield's line, wasn't it?
It was, you're right, I'm sorry. It's a head and feet to Wakefield.
Good hustle, good urgency. When the line was broken, Wakefield, they got back and made that pass so difficult for Morgan Escaray to collect. Here's what Sam Tompkins can bring. He reacts well, finds some space, tries to find the replacement fullback. And Matty Ashurst just does enough to make sure that we can't collect.
It's a good call from the referee, I think, James Child.
It is a good call, and they got the benefit there, did Wakefield, Jacob Miller.
Do you know, and everything that's going against them and all the calls that James Child's making in question by Wigan, and he's nailed every one of them.
On your loose forward, onside.
So head and feet to Wakefield.
Right, ball in. Yep. Out!
Can they go 3/4 of the length of the field? That's a solid run from Bill Tupou again.
Move! Go.
Now Hampshire finds Jowett.
Move!
Spins away from the first challenge, but Liam Farrell was behind. Keegan Hurst.
Held! Release him, 3.
Luluai, I'm told, Thomas Luluai has passed the head test, so he's available to come back on. This is Fafita. Grounded on halfway. There he is, Thomas Luluai prowling the sidelines. Keegan Hurst finds Hampshire. Hampshire finds Jowett. Jowett gives it to Ben Jones-Bishop again.
5. Move. Keep
Last one coming up.
Go.
25 metres out, right-hand side of the field. Hampshire goes high. Really high. Wakefield are chasing this, but it's claimed by Sargentson. And then Sargentson is claimed by England, who's come back out on the field. So he's made a liar out of you, Barry.
What he's done is he's put his body on the line this evening. He might not have been 100% fit, but he's done what his coach and his team have needed and wanted. And at this point here, 20 points in front. With just less than 15 minutes to go. If they get the win, they get the W, he'll be thrilled to bits.
Here's Escaray. Now it's with Williams. Williams went wide and found Gildart. And they come back for a tackle off the ball by Wakefield, so it's a Wigan penalty.
It's on John Bateman, and I think it's Fafita that makes the late challenge.
They've done that all evening, you know. Talked before the game about how important inside chase would be for Wakefield. A lack of discipline there from Fafita. He'd got there and thought, I'm going to follow through and just hit John Bateman anyway, try and knock him off his feet. And they give away 30 metres.
And will it be costly? Will it be more costly than 30 metres?
Hold!
Still 14 minutes remaining. I know it's a 20-point margin, but you never know. Bateman
2, Kyle, move!
Down on tackle number 2, 11 metres away from the Wakefield line. Lulawai again shows it, then gives it to Williams. Williams goes short to Farrell.
Good tackle by Hampshire. That's not an easy man to stop. The smallest defender in the Wakefield sides.
Here's Escaray. Escaray finds Bateman again. And well, he looks like he's just lost the way for a moment, but then finds Lulawai. Lulawai then goes wide to Tompkins. Tompkins dabs it to the in-goal area. Big chase on here. Ben Jones-Bishop wins it.
Well, he had to turn around and get on his bike pretty quick, didn't he? Looked quite static, the attack from Wigan. When John Bateman's spinning around, he's looking to pass the ball to. Nobody there, but you look at Wakefield, when they're in that zone, they've got so many options pushing around the man who's got the ball in his hands.
But the main men from Wigan are trying to get involved in this game. Tompkins, who puts that kick in. Lulawai, who's just come out the head bin. I said about Sean O'Loughlin and his work rate within this game.
Well, I wonder if we saw a long shot there of Ben Jones-Bishop, one of the 4 candidates maybe for tonight's Betfred Super League Man of the Match. You, of course, have the choice at your fingertips via the Our League app on your mobile devices. We'll be opening up the voting lines in about 3 or 4 minutes. I'll tell you who the 4 nominees are from our Super League legend. And then you can make your choice via the Our League app.
Move! Hold!
13 minutes remaining here. Wigan looking to give themselves hope with Escaray, now with Williams. Short ball then again to Farrell. Once more it's Hampshire all round him.
Well, they're setting Farrell that task, aren't they, of getting over Hampshire whenever he can.
Williams again. Ices the runner. O'Loughlin's there as well. Back it comes to Escaray. He bounces away from Tupu and he gets the ball away to Lulawai. Lulawai then to Sargents, and here's Tom Davis. That's good defence. That is tremendous defence from Max Jowett, but has he got the ball down?
He scored.
Well, the referee's not sure either.
Max Jowett. Talking about potential men
The
of the
referee
matches.
is not sure either.
You think it's a try, do you, Phil?
You've all jumped in.
Eddie, I'm with you. I think Max Jowett has saved the try. It's only Phil.
All right, Phil's jumped in.
Well, he wants to look at the touchline. Does his foot actually touch the touchline before he gets the ball down? It's going to be a very acrobatic effort if he gets the ball down here. His left hand's in touch.
Left hand.
So the on-field, no tries confirmed.
Sorry, Phil.
Apologies, Eddie. I don't know why I ever doubted you. You've been doing this for a long time, and you'd spot a try if there was one.
Probably too long. No try.
Well, what an effort from the young fullback. We've got just over 12 minutes left on the clock, and for Max Jowett to get himself across in the right area, put his body on the line, shoulder in, magnificent effort.
On the line!
Wow.
They got a penalty here. James Charles gave Wigan a penalty. Something must have happened in back play. There's a tackle on Morgan Escaray.
So the danger is still not cleared.
Surrender!
The challenge on Escaray in the immediate build-up to that incident. This is Lulawai. Lulawai then to Escaray. And Escaray loses the ball to Jowett again. And here is Rhys Lynn.
He's down, Morgan Escaray. Trying to make his way back in the line.
Play the ball! Go.
Not happy.
Repeat that hell, Colin.
Showing the physio his hand, thumb. Paulie trying to drive Wakefield forward.
To get the penalty to Wakefield. I'm not so sure that Paulie didn't steal that off himself, actually.
When players are that big, what they do is they force teams to throw numbers at them. And when they can't control the leg drive, one, you're worried about the offload. Here's the injury. Potential injury from Morgan Escaray. You look at him, he's holding his hand. But Paulie, players are that scared and that worried about the offload that nobody wants to go down and stop the leg drive. So there's confusion and indecision, a lack of communication. Players like that. And of course, David Fafita, who was so effective in the first half, have what's caused Wigan trouble all night.
Here he goes again. Paulie.
They might not last long on the field and they might need to be rotated a lot, but when they are on, they cause problems.
Kyle Wood. Hampshire. Miller does well, steps away from Bateman's challenge. Here he comes again, the big man, Fafita.
Well, he dropped that ball.
He has knock on.
You don't always need athletes to play the sport of rugby league. You need athletic rugby players. And the more minutes you can get out of players like Fafita, like Paulie, the better off your side is going to be. And that guy, he's a rugby player. Paulie's a rugby player. And they've caused trouble and problems all night.
All the way, come on, back
well,
up.
Fafita's just said something back to James Child, so he's being penalised. And the penalty given to Wigan.
He probably said the ball was punched out, which is, I think, what we showed on that replay.
Release!
I can tell you that the man of the match vote will go to someone from Wakefield tonight, because every one of the nominees are there on your screen now. Reece Lynn, David Fafita, Ben Jones-Bishop and Ryan Hampshire have caught the eye of our rugby league legend. So it's time for you to make your votes now via the Our League app.
Goal 3.
Can't argue with any of those players.
This is Luluai and Bateman, which is a sign, really, I think, that Wakefield have dominated this match. Sargentson. The scoreline will tell you that anyway. Williams to the in-goal area, and it's Reece Lynn who palms the ball dead.
Their attack's just not been good enough in this game, but you have got to credit the way that Wakefield have defended. Kicking on the third play, they can't break them down. Trying to build that pressure, they want more players with the ball in the hand. And I think they've been absolutely tremendous.
Keep working.
When they're defending their own line, they're working hard for each other. When the ball shifts away from them, they're pushing across. They're not letting that line be fractured, that defensive line.
Well, it's a win, this, for Wakefield, which I think is getting ever closer. That will take them, albeit for the time being, above their big city neighbours, the Leeds Rhinos, the champions in the Betfred Super League table tonight. And just puts a little bit of daylight between them and the bottom 4. Tompkins goes wide to Davis again. Davis has to come back inside. This is a great run from Davis. He gets away from Morona. Look at this lad for speed. What a try. What a great try from Tom Davis. Wonderful effort from Davis, but the referee hasn't yet given it. He has a try on the field, and he just needs the grounding checking.
That looks okay to me from Tom Davis, an individual.
What say you, Phil?
I think it's a try, Eddie.
I think we probably saw the last one, where he didn't quite get the grounding as he wanted it, so I want to check this one. You can see he gets possession back and the ball's grounded fine.
There was a bit of a bobble, wasn't there, from the swinging arm from Max Jowett. But good effort from young Tom Davis.
A good effort from Jowett to stop it, but he couldn't. And so Tom Davis gets the try that will give Wigan a little bit of hope in the last 8 minutes or so. Can they score 16 unanswered points between now and full time to get them at least a point? They haven't looked like it, I must say. Tompkins can kick the 2. It's 26-12. They need, well, 14 points for the draw.
Well, there's been some games this season when Wigan have played poorly, and tonight's one of those. But Tom Davis hasn't, in my opinion, let Wigan Warriors down at all this season. He's been fantastic, whether they've won or lost, and that is a brilliant individual effort. He's had to work hard to beat a number of Wakefield defenders. Here's Tompkins' conversion, and now maybe they're back into it.
Oh. And it just missed and spun off the head of his coach, Sean Wayne. So 26 points to 12. Are we in for a big finish, fellas?
I must admit, I thought there was going to be a reaction from the last 2 results from Wigan and all the off-field things that have happened in the build-up to this game, but I think Wakefield have just been the better side from start to finish. Wigan had the 10-minute spell just before half-time, but they've been so dominant.
If they score here, you might have to alter your opinion. And here goes Willie Isa down that left-hand side. Oh, the pass goes to ground. Oh, the referee says 0 play on, so Wigan still on the front foot. This is Williams. Williams gets it away. This is young Mullen. And he saw the line there. He nearly stretched out and scored. But Wakefield got back in numbers to deny him. Luluai to Tompkins. Tompkins then to Escaray. Escaray will go in for another one. 2 tries in 2 minutes. 2 tries in 2 minutes for Wigan. Morgan Escaray. They're fighting back. There's still time. The comeback just might be on.
Eddie, I told you this game's not over, didn't I? And Willie Isa tries to get Oliver Gill out the ball. It's play on. Morgan Esquerre's the man who scores the try. He's the man who picks it up, positions himself over on the right-hand side. And that's just all about speed from Morgan Esquerre. He's certainly got some zip, the Frenchman. Gets on the outside of Verona. Look at this. Dummies the ball, gets over the try, and it's certainly not finished, Eddie.
Well, it would have helped if this had bounced and gone in, but it's bounced and gone out, and the home fans are happy. We saw Trinity fade in the latter stages of the first half, and it appears as though the same thing's going to happen here. We've got just less than 6 minutes, the clock just ticking away here now. The referee has to wait till the touch judges are back in position before he stops the clock.
Phil, you've took the words out of my mouth. This is a battle of energy, fitness, stamina, mental toughness at this point. They have to have the belief that they will see this game out, Wakefield, but what's more is they'll have to step up and they'll have to push themselves right to the whistle.
And remember what happened in Perpignan when Wigan came back from the dead earlier this season. Here's the man of the match vote as it stands at the moment. Ben Jones-Bishop winning it at the minute, but you can change that. You can't pick a Wigan player. He's not been nominated. So,
well,
you know,
it's going to go wide to the left here with Wigan. They've had all the breaks and the success in this second half. They're shifting the ball if ever they can. They've got to get it out there to Oliver Gill. That's the target man.
Oh, that's a lovely slip pass by O'Loughlin to Tompkins. He then finds Esquerre. And Esquerre's going down that left-hand side now. Rhys Lynn stands his ground.
Move! Get square! Hold! Goal 3.
Willie Isa. Into centre field it comes from Williams. We can have the feeling that this is not over yet. It's a great tackle. It's a knock-on as well in the tackle. Wonderful hit. Matty Ashurst takes all the congratulations that are due to him for that.
Well, good play, wasn't it, to come in and close that play down. John Behrman, he's had to really battle through this.
And that just might settle it.
I think it's Tom Johnson who comes in and
it is Tom Johnson.
He hits it. Wingers, not known for big defensive plays.
You're right.
He comes in.
Went straight to Ashurst.
He's under the ball. He forces the mistake. They just had to hold the nerve. Wakefield.
Come on.
As everybody in this league, in this game, this great sport of ours knows that Wigan have the potential to come back, but not if they can't keep the discipline.
Well, I think Sam Tompkins has said something out of turn to referee James Child. Instead of it being a scrum down to Wakefield, it's penalty to Wakefield.
Yeah.
So it's a couple of times in this game, back-chatting
three penalties
to the referee, 3 times.
Time out.
Well, that shows how frustrated they are.
Here we are. We are, John.
And that man's team has frustrated them.
Hold. Go.
So here is Tupu. Instead of it being a scrum, it was a penalty, and Wakefield have got 6 attempts from here. Well, 5 now. Hurst. Navarrete flew out of the line.
Stand all the way. Go, good.
Wood
2.
directing the traffic. Fifita again trying to get rid of Navarrete, and does so.
I think they've got another try in him here, Wakefield.
Hampshire short ball. Paulie.
Oh, Tommy, move.
Tell you what, Isa had to be brave underneath all those legs. This is Randall. Still. Isa gets to him. Williams gets to him. Lulawai down low.
Go.
Last one coming up. Oh, great run, and it is that man, Paulie, who scores the try that seals this. First Super League try against Widnes 2 weeks ago in the last run out. Second Super League try here tonight against Wigan. Wow. Paulie. Trinity go above Leeds into 6th place with this victory, because victory it is now.
Eddie, you don't know what this man's going to do whenever he has the ball, when he's got a late offload in him. He runs hard, he gets over the top of you. Over on the right-hand side, they're strong, and Sam Tompkins knows, but it's not been their day. Back-chatting to the referee, James Child. The 3rd occasion it's happened from the side. He penalised. That field position's gifted to Wakefield. The confidence that they've got. And when Paulie gets the ball, he goes straight, he goes hard. Thomas Lulawai tries to stop him. Well, it's an impossible task, isn't it? Look at the size difference there. It's a total mismatch.
He just holds that ball, doesn't he? He just draws the defender in. Is it the dummy half position, Ryan Hampshire? Teases the defender out the line, puts Paulie one-on-one against probably one of the best defenders in the game, Thomas Luluine. Even he can't deal with.
But an abject lesson here tonight. You back-chat the referee, whether you think you're right or wrong, there is only one winner.
He'll never change his mind, I was always told.
But he's changed his mind there from a scrum to a penalty, and that's cost Wigan another try. So keep your trap shut.
So he has changed his mind then.
Hampshire slides over the extras. 32 points to 16. Wakefield have done it again against the Wigan Warriors, and he has had a heck of a 3 weeks. Sean Wayne. You just have to wonder, when the news came of his imminent departure, just what that did to the morale in the dressing room, to the morale on the field.
As you said, Eddie, he's been involved with a lot of these players for the majority, if not all, of their career. The club and the coach and the players themselves will be hurting at the minute. They're not getting the result. They're not playing well. We're going to have to dig in, work hard and try and fix up those mistakes that keep letting them down.
Well, it's been a comprehensive victory for Wakefield this tonight. I mean, we can talk all we like about Wigan's problems and the penalties given away for back-chatting. Wakefield have been magnificent this evening.
But you only get them penalties because you're frustrating the opponents. And they've been very, very good in defence and attack. They've really stood up tonight, Wakefield.
And I tell you something, for Wigan, the road ahead does not look any easier. They're here tonight. Next week in round 18, they go to Hull. The week after that, in round 19, they're at home to Leeds. Then they're at home to Warrington. They're away at Huddersfield, improving. Saints at home and Catalan at home. That's their run-up to round 23.
They'll need the big players to stand up, and as I say, I don't think Sean O'Loughlin has been off the field. I can't remember the last time he played 80 minutes. Roman never going close. He's off the hard work of Sean O'Loughlin. They're not shying away from the challenge and the task, Wigan.
Williams with a little dab to the corner. Ben Jones-Bishop once again just palms it dead under pressure from Gildarth. Ben Jones-Bishop leading the race for the Betfred Super League Man of the Match vote tonight. And the coach and chairman, they should be absolutely delighted with the performance their team has produced this evening. And of course, Chris Chester, it's a special night for him as well, because he's a former Wigan player. He arrived at Wigan way back in 1999. Injury cut short his playing career. But for Chris Chester, yet another win as a coach against his former club.
Paid a lot of money for Chris Chester from Halifax as well when he was a youngster. He's a good old player.
Could he be on the radar of Wigan as a replacement? Done an exceptional job at Wakefield. I'm not sure they'll want to let him go.
He'll be very popular in Wakefield with suggestions like that, Barry.
I'm just asking the question. I asked you, I looked at you, and you looked away.
I know, I raised my eyebrows.
You've told me shut up. You've told me keep my mouth shut.
There it is, Chris Chester's night. He and Sean Wayne shake hands, but it is a totally different picture. Chester all smiles, Sean Wayne dejected, disappointed and defeated tonight.
Well, they've been dealt some real hard lessons over the last 3 weeks, and Sean Wayne, things haven't gone right off the pitch, haven't gone right on the pitch as well.
And he's got a hell of a job now.
Yeah,
because he knows his time is up. He goes at the end of the season. He is dying inside.
Yeah, he's an emotional man, and most of the time he brings that emotion out.
What can he say to his players?
Well, you just got to fix up the things that identify in the week.
The harder you work, the more frustrated you become, because things don't happen on the pitch. And realistically, the only people that can change the results are the people who go onto the pitch, because the coaches like Sir Chris Chester and Sean Wayne, they'll give you the game plan. Look, lads, this is where we think you'll get your opponents. You do this, we should win. And obviously the likes of Sam Tompkins and other players around him have been frustrated because they've turned up here Last year, the final game of the year didn't go their way. They were well and truly embarrassed, I thought, last year, the final game of the season. And today, I think this Wakefield side have come out with some comments before the game, maybe upset a few of the Wigan players, but really backed it up on the pitch.
They have indeed, and it opens up the door here for Wigan's arch-rival Saints, who sit top of the table, to go even further ahead over the weekend. It's a 4-point gap at the moment. It could be 6 by the end of this weekend's games in the Betfred Super League. Great night for Wakefield. Great night for them. They're above Leeds on the table as well. And, well, we know that it's going to be a Wakefield player who is the Betfred Super League man of the match tonight. And who is it? I think we all know it's Ben Jones-Bishop. There he is with Bill.
Yeah, Ben Jones-Bishop, man of the match, 2 crucial tries. Certainly, there you go, crucially, that one at the start of the second half, because Wigan had come out probably with a bit of confidence after the way they'd finished the first. That took the wind out of the sails, didn't it?
Yeah, that's right. We knew we'd come under fire a little bit. So yeah, it was I read it well, and lucky it was able to go the other end.
That's a bit of a speciality, isn't it?
Yeah, it's always nice. We've got some pace in our team, and we're attacking even though we're defending, so any loose ball, and we're trying to make sure we're the first on it.
It's a bit of a gamble though, isn't it?
It is, yeah, but
that hadn't come off, Wigan could have been in.
Yeah, that's true, but my centre went in, so I've got to follow him. Luckily it came up for us that day.
And then maybe a few nerves towards the end as they've got their act together and put you under a bit of pressure.
Yeah, they're a good team. We probably need to work on that, just finishing games out very well. But it's a good 2 points for us, keeps us going, and we look forward to next week.
Into 6th place in the table, in actual fact. You got the silver salver. You got to check £250, Ben, for the charity of your choice.
It's Crohn's and Colitis UK, please.
Well done tonight.
Thank you. Cheers.
David Fafita set things rolling with his pre-match comments about the Wigan pack, but you came out on top.
Yeah, like I said before the game, just take it to them. We're not going to see what they bring to us. I think the boys dug deep, and especially in that back end of the second half. I think we were all just pushing for each other, but yeah, it was a great result.
What about the closing stages, though? Was there a bit of anxiety?
Nah, never in doubt there. We know that all the boys just stick by each other. You've seen Tommy Johnston make that tackle.
Well, absolutely, yeah.
That changed it for us, and even Ben Jones-Bishop, that intercept just changed it for us too in that second half. And I think everyone just got on the up then, so yeah.
You've maybe had your blip this season, haven't you? Do you think you've come out the other side now, back-to-back wins?
Yeah, it's good to get back-to-back wins now, especially against Wigan. They're second on the table. It's good to see where we're at the moment. We're doing well, so it's great.
David, thanks very much for talking to us.
Cheers, everyone.
Dan Sargentson has very kindly agreed to join us after, from Wigan's point of view, Dan, disappointing again.
Yeah, so frustrating. We went into the first half. We didn't have our share of the ball again, which has been the story of the last three weeks. So another disappointing loss for us, and we're on the back of 3 losses now.
And yet, just a glimmer of hope towards the end when you got those back-to-back tries.
Yeah, we shouldn't leave it to that last 20-30 minutes. I mean, we've stole a few during the season, but we knew it'd come back to bite us later on in the season. So this is the game that's got us.
There's been a lot, obviously, going off the pitch at the club. Then there's the Challenge Cup disappointment. Has this maybe unsettled things?
No, not at all. But we come into this game believing we could win. We didn't believe that the stuff in the press and that has got us down at all. So we're a strong bunch of lads, and we'll probably get a few bodies back from injury next week, and we'll go again.
Dan, thanks for talking to us.
Thank you, mate. Cheers.
Well, Chris Chester is the victorious Wakefield coach, and to do that to Wigan once again, OK, he didn't nil them this time, but that's some feather in your cap.
Yeah, it certainly is. Really pleased for the guys. They've copped a hell of a lot of stick over these probably last couple of months, and the fans have really stuck by us, and that's a win for those loyal fans tonight.
And I think you said before the game, and your chairman said before the game, when you complete high, you tend to win.
Yeah, listen, I thought defensively today, the last few weeks we've just been giving too many yardage penalties away, and I think there were only 1 in that first half and maybe 2 in that second half, and that makes a massive difference. Yeah, I just thought defensively we were very, very good, and it's probably the best that we've controlled the ball tonight, and really pleased for everybody involved tonight.
Defensively, I think epitomised by that Tom Johnston tackle towards the end. Wigan maybe had scented an opportunity to pull this one out the fire, and he just stopped them in the tracks.
Yeah, listen, I tell you what, the cause of some problems, especially that last probably 7 or 8. 8 minutes, and me and Mick said we're going to throw this away if we don't sort his defence out. But listen, they tried hard all night. They keep working hard for each other. They keep working hard in training, and you know, the effort were there to be seen. A really good performance.
Thanks, Chris.
Thanks, Bill.
Yeah, congratulations to Chris Chester and Wakefield Trinity. With their 8th win of the season, they move up into 6th spot on the Super League table. Confirmation of the final scoreline, 32 points to 16. Double from Ben Jones-Bishop, Bill Tupou, Tom Johnston and Paulie with the tries. Hamlin Davies and Escary in reply for the Wigan Warriors, who trailed 14-6 at half-time. At half-time, John Wells felt confident that Wakefield could go on, kick on and get 2 points. You proved right, John. What was your game breaker in that second 40?
It's 42 minutes is probably a bit early to call this a game breaker. I'll call it a foot on throat moment from Wakefield. I didn't feel like Wigan needed to score straight away, but they certainly need to score first. That was the worst possible start. Ben Jones-Bishop, his 12th for 2018, 43 tries in 64 appearances to Wakefield. But it warrants closer scrutiny, does this one, because it isn't just an intercept. There's more to it than that. This starts from a defensive read. And I'll show you as best I can here, because I'll nudge this on ever so slightly to the point at which Sean O'Loughlin passes this ball. Because at this point, Reece Lynn is trying to deal with Liam Farrell. Liam Farrell's the front line runner. He's coming in here. And Reece Lynn, Ben Jones-Bishop centre, is now committed to that man. Have a look at what Ben Jones-Bishop is doing at this moment. And the first movement he makes is anticipating Sam Tompkins getting the ball. So watch this, and then watch the adjustment as the ball comes through the air. Lovely late adjustment, sticks himself between two players. If that goes to Gildart, that's a walk-in try. I've got it very, very quickly from behind the screens because I want to show you again. Have a look at Ben Jones-Bishop. He's initially trying to make a read on Sam Tompkins. And then because the ball's thrown out to Gildart, able to make an adjustment. So there's two things there. One, the correct read for what he needs to do. And two, then having the ability to make the adjustment and put himself in position to score that try. As I said, not necessarily the game breaker, Brian, but certainly a foot on throat moment, and that foot wasn't really removed from that throat throughout the second half. Great win, Wakefield.
Thanks very much, John. Absolutely huge win for Wakefield. Back-to-back wins for the first time since round 4. They move up into 6th. Wigan Warriors remain 4 points behind St Helens, having played the same amount of games now. Tonight belongs to Wakefield Trinity. Well, they've got a really difficult run ahead of them, Wakefield Trinity, where they play the top sides in Super League. What a way to start that run. Phil, we'll talk about the team separately. Let's address the victors first. What a crucial win for Wakefield Trinity to continue the momentum of the recent weeks.
Massive win on television against the Wigan Warriors, and really with a buzz about the place that has now convinced themselves, I think here, that we are a team that deserves to be in the top half of this table. Where exactly they end up is in their own destiny, because if they can repeat performances like that, then they will certainly be in the top few spots. But not often enough in the first half of the season have they been able to play to that level.
Yeah, 4 wins to start the season. That terrible run then where they couldn't buy a win. They may now be confident, hopeful to just make the top 8 and then push up once the Super 8 start to push away from the bottom 8, maybe finish in the top 6 now.
Possibly so. You can never really guess, can you, when your victories are going to come? You can't think, oh, well, they're down at the moment, but they'll just have to go whenever they can get them.
What about the Wigan Warriors? Crisis, what crisis before the game? Now what do we start thinking?
It's a crisis when you get knocked out of the cup in the town of Wigan. They've been knocked out of the cup. It's a crisis if you lose away a game at Hull KR when you're not expected to do. But then to back that up again with another loss here at Wakefield means that they are under pressure. In any sport, if you lose 4 games in a row, it's a crisis, isn't it? And the next 3 opponents, am I right in saying they play Hull, Leeds and Warrington?
Hull, Castleford, Leeds and Warrington are the next 4 games for them.
There are 4 very difficult opponents.
Yep, absolutely. Difficult run coming up for the Wigan Warriors. Well, they tell us that all is okay. We will see. They still remain in 2nd spot. That should not be forgotten. Right, here's what we've got coming up next on Main Event. FedEx St. Jude Classic Day 1. That is next from the PGA Tour Golf. Stay with us on Sky Sports Arena. We have a Rugby League Masterclass with the Warrington Wolves star Kevin Brown. That's coming up. And of course, Kevin Brown will be in action tomorrow at the Halliwell Jones Stadium. Castleford are the visitors, 7:30 p.m. on Sky Sports Arena. And then on Saturday, hope you can join us again on Sky Sports Arena, 5 p.m. start, but note is on the red button. Massive game involving two sides, the wrong end of the table. The Catalan Dragons against the Widnes Vikings, now under the charge of Francis Cummins. My thanks to Phil here for the Mobile Rocket Stadium. Wakefield, the night belonged to Trinity. They march on in their quest to make the top 8 for the Warriors. Plenty of head scratching.
Good hands, Jowett, out it goes to Ben Jones-Bishop, and he drops it down. Oh, it's gone in low. The chance here, I think Bill Tupu's got the try. Short pass, great work, and it's Gabe Hamlin. It's an intercept by Ben Jones-Bishop. They're not going to catch him. They will not catch Ben Jones-Bishop. Oh, it's been played at it. Well, played at its play on, and it's Johnston. Oh, great run, and it is that man, Paulie, who scores the try that seals this.
Sky Sports. Feel it all.
Just looking to pass, earn the right to play, go forward.
Gale to Hardaker to Minikin, wide to Reedham, 31 for the season!
I will leave the light on.
The average person spends 26 years and 3 months in bed. And that's not all sleeping. Which is why Simba's rigorous testing, responsive memory foam, up to 2,500 unique patented springs and breathable sleep surface are so appreciated. Especially when it's time to go to sleep.
I never thought I'd miss you half as much as I do.
Every moment of every day we help you be there. BT, be there.